And I hope this one is no different. I hope this finals is just as good as all the other ones have been. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the blue Zerg player for Dragon Kitesy Gaming, Dark. And his opponent in the lower right, in the red, the Protoss. Classic, using those classic Brood War skins. I love it. I love how goofy this Nexus looks. It's beautiful. All the Brood War skins look super goofy. Reminder to everyone out there that this tournament is completely funded by our Patreon. It's totally crowdsourced. So if you're interested in supporting this tournament, this weekly, keeping it going, improving it, making it better, please check out that Patreon. It's also supporting our big tournament that's coming this summer, the Summer Slam, which we just announced the official dates for, and prize pool is so far $3,000. We're hoping to raise that a little bit. Did take a big hit to the Patreon recently, so we'll have a big match arena to help boost that prize pool. That'll be running between now and August 30th when the tournament starts, to hopefully help crowdsource more money, get some money for the qualifiers, just to help incentivize people to play in those, as well as boost the overall prize pool. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be far and away the biggest tournament I've ever been involved in putting on. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. But thank you guys for all the support. Thanks for making this possible. This has been kind of a long-running dream of mine, has been to get a big Patreon-funded event like this going, like a weekly. I watched the hell out of Alima League back when they were running, and I feel like we're trying to follow in the spirit of what Alima League was. And it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of really, really sick games and matches. And anyways, let's talk about this game, because Dark took a very forward expansion to start off with. Classic is just now getting the scout off on it, so this is a very late scout on that hatch. This is a very forward hatch. It has the rich Vespene Geyser as well. Now, Dark is not taking that right now. I was thinking this might be a Ravager play with the gas. Classic's going to come up here, and it's going to see, okay, no gas has been taken. Adept might be able to get a cheeky kill. Grabs one before shading out of there. But Classic is also running away with these probes from the Lings. All right, Adepts have now returned. Oh my god, one probe went down though. And it's an Oracle from Classic. Still no gas being taken here from Dark. So I wonder what Dark's plan is, because so far, this actually looks like an extremely normal build out of Dark. He just has taken this base. And oh my god, he's gonna knock down the cooling towers. You know, they don't seem to have a lot of hit points. I feel like those Lings can do that fairly easily. That is such an interesting thought. To block off the middle here? Ah, that actually seems like such a great idea. First, he's going to send the Lings around, though. He wants to try to delay a third. I think Classic is still worried about being attacked. That's not what's going to happen here, though. I mean, Dark's going to drop the Roach Warren now, so I don't know. Maybe I spoke too soon. There goes that Extractor. Oh, he stopped fighting this cooling tower. Did he bamboozle Classic? He bamboozled me. All right, Classic saw the Extractor going down, though. But he didn't see the Roach Warren. He's going to take the base. I don't really know what to expect here, because it feels like Dark could explode with a ton of Ravagers. He's banking a bunch of gas. Glaives on the way for Classic. Glaives is such an interesting choice here. Okay, he's going to have a couple Oracles and a bunch of Glaives Depths. Not like a ton, but there's Roaches coming out. This is so weird. There's 11 Roaches on the way. I mean, these Adepts are about to spot the Roaches, so at least they'll get the Scout. They're going to shade up into the main. I think they'll cancel that shade. I think these Adepts need to get the hell out of here. Queen's caught a little bit out of position. The Oracles take advantage of that to grab a couple of of drones. The Adepts are shading away. One of them does fall, but Classic now knows exactly what's coming for him. He still has this third base on the way. He's warping in Stalkers. Is there going to be enough here for Classic to hold on? We've got a lot of Roaches coming out of Dark. He's got a few Ravagers morphing. Queen's even coming along as well. That's the benefit of having that creep so far forward. This feels like a build that you would have seen during the Void Ray meta, but it is not. It's not Void Rays here. It is great ground units. Glaives is about to finish, but all the Adepts are dying already, so that's not really going to affect anything. Glaives finishes right as the last Adept dies. It's just a few Stalkers, and that was not Blink. These Stalkers are just going to have to micro a little bit. Oracles try to come in, try to chip down the Queens, but they're going to die. Queens are starting to fall. They can't transfuse each other or the Roaches and Ravagers. But with 3 Ravagers up now, Biles are going to be a really big deal. Link's coming in from the backside, but the Super Shield Battery is holding on really nicely here for Classic. I'm surprised Dark hasn't tried to target it down yet. As I say it, there he goes. And the Speedlink follow-up might just be deadly here. There's a Void Ray coming up, but there's still 2 Queens with this. And that Void Ray, I don't think is going to be enough to stop this third base from dying. Link's trying to get on top of the Stalkers. These last few Stalkers are going to go down to the Links, to the Roaches. Queen's a little bit out of position to deal with this Void Ray. So the Void Ray going to target down the Roaches, but the Ravager is starting to bile it down a little bit too. And yeah, that third base is dead. All right, looks like the Queens are dead. The Adept's going to take care of them. Oh my God, the Void Ray died to Biles. Classic. He forgot he had to micro against those. Warping in units, getting biled as they warp in. The Adept Glaives coming into play a little bit here now as the Link count gets higher and higher. Link's not taking the best engagement. But the shield batteries are running low on juice. And the Ravagers are starting to bust in. They're going to bile down the warping in units again, and Dark just has too much. He busts through. He wins game 1 with like a Queen Roach Ravager push. And you know what? I feel like we could all feel that coming. But there was a point where I had expected it to start. I expected the gas to be mining, the Roach Warren to be down, and it wasn't yet. And I think both Classic and I were like, oh, so you're not doing it? And Classic was like, all right, I'll take that third then. I think you're doing something different. I'm going to go Glaive to Depths. And that's when the Roach Warren and the Extractor went down. So just a little bit later there for Dark. What an interesting build, too. I do feel like that map lends itself really well to that kind of push. It almost feels too obvious. And I feel like that's what worked against Classic there. Is it was like too obvious. Dark was like, hey, I'm going to take this base. I'm going to have a bunch of gas. And then I'm just going to push you with Ravagers. And Classic was like, no. No, I don't believe you're going to do that. Dark was like, no, I don't lie. All right, we're in the lobby for game 2. We're going to Gres Van. Waiting for the map to begin. The countdown to start. Heavenly Vibes. Welcome to the chat, Heavenly Vibes. I hope your vibes are as heavenly as your name. We like good vibes here, but we love heavenly vibes. They're to die for. Thanks for casting this. You're so welcome, Shatsu. It is my absolute pleasure to be casting these players and to be involved in putting this tournament on every week. I absolutely love doing this. Casting is one of my favorite things to do of all time. It's right up there with all my other favorite things. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, etc., etc. So let's do some more of that casting thing. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Gres Van, we have the Dragon Kites Gaming Zerg player in the blue. It's Dark. And his opponent in the lower right-hand corner in the red, the Protoss. It's Classic. I'm very glad to have you all in the chat watching as well, whether you're watching on Twitch currently or on YouTube later. I do post these on YouTube, and I have a feeling this one gonna get the views, because I mean it's a banger. It's a banger. I do hope it goes to a game 5. I will say, Dark, I feel like tends to have Classic's number more often than not. Hero can really pick Dark apart, but I don't know if Classic can do quite the same thing. And we kind of saw last game, Dark is not afraid to be aggressive, but he's also not afraid, and we might see this on this map. I kind of hope we do. It's a big one. He's not afraid to go late game. He's not afraid to play you with Infestors and Vipers and Lurkers and all the big scary Protoss units on the other side. He's very, very good at that. So Classic needs to figure out how to get his footing back here in game 2. It's a best of 5, so we still have at least one game after this, but a win here for Classic would be crucial. Kind of reset the series. Wimpy, when the bee stings, I just talk about StarCraft. When I'm feeling sad, I talk about StarCraft. And you know what? It makes me feel better. Sometimes, actually, if I'm having kind of a bad day, I start thinking about Stormgate, and that makes me feel better. It really does. That actually is a thing that happens. Like, if I'm having kind of a down day, you know, like, oh, feeling a little down. It happens. I'll be like, you know what? Think about Stormgate's coming. And it makes me happy. It's good. It's good. We like that. Stormgate will fix everything. I don't know if Stormgate will fix everything, but I think it'll make us all feel a lot better about, I don't know, like, I have a feeling a huge part of the community is going to move over to it. Like, you know, initially, we're going to have a lot of people moving over to play Stormgate. And I love this community. I love being a part of this community. And I look forward to being a part of it when we move over to Stormgate. I don't know, maybe we'll come back to StarCraft in a couple of years. Maybe there'll be a StarCraft 3 in 6 years. But for right now, I'm just excited to have something to look forward to. We haven't really had anything to look forward to in StarCraft in a while. You know, like the last few years, we've just been like, fingers crossed we have another year. But we haven't had anything like to look forward to. It's always just like, it feels like we're holding on to what we have. And every year a little bit more slips away. And having KSL has been super, super awesome for me. And it has kept me really, really optimistic about not just StarCraft in this community, but again, as we go into Stormgate, like, hey, if we already have a community that can do stuff like this, imagine if Stormgate brings back a lot of people who used to play StarCraft, brings back a lot of people who, you know, loved this game, but moved on for one reason or another. And I think it will. I think it will bring back a lot of those people, and it'll bring new people in. And we'll have new wonderful people as part of the community. And I'm really optimistic about that. Also, I think the game's going to be good. But at the very least, it'll be new. And sometimes new is just as exciting as good. Don't tie emotions to unknowns. That's kind of why I'm mostly excited to have something new. Like that's to me is where the emotion is for me. Is that we've got something new to look forward to watch players learn and grow, that we can play. And I think the game will be good enough where we won't have to worry about like, oh, well, what if the game's awful? I'm not really concerned about that. I think it's going to be good enough where we can just be excited to play new stuff. But I have a feeling Classic's not going to be particularly excited about the noise he's about to hear. I don't think... Oh, he's getting that scout. Okay, so he's got to know this is around. He spots it. The queens are not up front, but it doesn't matter. The Oracle's not going to be able to charge that down. And Dark's going to be able to get everybody out of here. Queens, Lings, Roaches, which are already morphing into Ravagers. Classic has Blink +1 on the way, but they're not here yet. He's got cannons and shield batteries, but a couple of well-placed biles, and that's all going to fall. And we've got a lot of biles here. Blink not quite done yet. These Stalkers got to pull back. Immortal Sentry into the natural. It's a beautiful combination. No creep for these queens to transfuse, but they're going to grab one of the Oracles already. Oh, Links from the backside as well. Biles take down the shield battery. Blink just barely not done. 14 seconds. And Dark might be overwhelming here. He is losing a lot to, I feel like, this Immortal shield battery over here. Oh, nice force field. 2 queens going down. Only 2 left. And Blink is now done, so the Stalkers can be a little more bold. But they pull back to cannons, not to shield batteries. The shield battery back here in the mineral line's not helping these Stalkers. They're too far away. The Lings get a nice trade, but the Stalker's going to blink forward. They're going to target down the Ravagers. Blink's off cooldown, though. Oh, no. Oh, okay, they blink back into the natural. But they killed a lot of Ravagers. That's Dark's the meat of his army, and Classic can just morph in more Stalkers. The double Nidus is getting shot down here. And now it's 3 base to 3. Dark is down a bunch of workers. And I don't think that worked for Dark. He does still have a lot of army. I mean, the resources lost is pretty similar here between the two of them. But I feel like Classic's in a stronger position off the back of that. He has less army, though, so he's got to just keep building units. He's going to take a base. This is the trap that Dark has set for him. Dark hasn't built a single drone. In fact, he's lost one. I think because he built this hatch. He's building a hatchery, but he's not getting his economy going. He's not teching up. He's getting roach speed and +1 missile attacks, and that is it. Dark is going to just go hard on the attack here momentarily. He still has that Nidus Worm. That could be something he can reinforce with. He's counting on Classic, assuming he's macroing. Classic, though, has an observer over here. I feel like this 4th is bait. But he sees this army. He's got to recognize how many units are out. Stalkers are going to blink forward. They're going to grab an Overlord and just poke a little bit. He sees so many units. I feel like Classic, you just have to play defensively here. The Stalkers out on the map, I think, is a good idea, but I don't know if I like the Prism with the Immortal in it. It seems like such a dicey proposition. Oh no, the Lings on the backside. A recall gonna get some of these Stalkers out of here. The other ones, yeah, left for dead. 2 picked up in the Prism. Classic's got to pull back. At least he was able to get a good amount of those Stalkers out of there. Some units hitting over here at the 3rd, but that means they're not in the main fight. They are going to start working on some probes, but now the Stalkers are going to blink over here and start taking them down. Oh, but there's a big bit of a surround here. The Stalkers getting squanched on both sides. The Colossi doing their best. There are 4 Colossi here. Oh my god. Roach is not that bad against Colossi, but the Prism Micro from Classic to keep all of these Robo units alive right now. I think the Immortal finally went down, but the Colossi are just dominating this fight. This is actually insane, and only 6 probes died. Classic's still way ahead in workers. He lost almost all of his Stalkers, but the 4 I mean, I don't think any of us were expecting these Colossi to just hold on their own here. So many kills between them all. Was that like 33 kills between these 4? And that's mostly Roaches. There was not a lot of Lings in there. That's crazy. Damn, it's cool to see Classic go so heavy on Colossi, though. Because Dark doesn't have Hive Tech, he's not even close to it. Doesn't even have an Infestation Pit. Vipers are like 100 years away. So the heavy Colossus count really, really works here. It's just going to be very strong on the back lines. And now getting into disruptors, he's building that Stalker army back up. Dark's army supply is way up, but it's kind of just roaches. It's just roaches. He's got 38 of those bad boys. Listen, I love me some good roaches. All right. I might not love them as much as pink, but I love a good roach. But Classic's army is better. He's also got +2, so Classic is up in the upgrade. And roaches just are so bad against disruptors. We'll see if Dark is able to pull off those magnificent splits that we know he can do. But I'm a little bit worried here. Okay, it looks like Dark's going to try to set up for a surround, but he might end up just getting half of his army caught here. Ooh, he's going to try to jump on top of this. Disruptor Nova's going out. The Biles don't hit in time, and these Novas are just getting gruesome connections. The Biles were attempted, but it's just not enough. All those disruptors lived with like just a couple of hit points left. And like I was worried about, Dark ended up fighting with half his army. Yeah, he's cleaning up some stalkers here, but the disruptor's gonna shepherd him back into the stalkers and Colossi. Dark's getting pushed away. His economy is garbage, and Classic is gonna take game 2, tying up the series. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. 1-1. Oh, a nice, close grand finals. Yes. All right, game 3 is going to be on Ancient Cistern. We're ready. Ready for map 3. Dark is so aggressive these days. If by these days you mean his entire career. Dark is, it's funny because Dark tends to either be extremely aggressive, I feel like, or he's totally fine just going into like the most cost-effective late-game army you've ever seen. It's funny because sometimes he'll like aggress himself into, never mind, I'm just going to tech right to Hive. I'm going to make a bunch of infestors, and we are slowing right the hell down. We'll be on like 63 drones, and you'll be like, are we in late game all of a sudden? Yes. I love Dark for that. He's not a one-trick pony. And that's why he's like a world champion. And that's why he's the top level Zerg. I think he's like the number 2 or number 3 Zerg in the world right now. Pretty much always top 3 Zerg in the world. It's just because he's so... He is versatile. He has a lot of different ways he can play. And he tends to be very aggressive, I think. But it's not the same kind of aggression. He can be aggressive on like 5 bases. You're just never really sure. That's kind of what happened in game 1. Was it felt like he was going to be aggressive in the first couple of minutes, but he was like, no, I'm just macroing, I'm just droning. Don't mind me. And then Queens, Roaches, and Ravagers, followed up by Lings. You thought it was done, but it's not. Anyways, we're talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the 2019 WCS Global Champion, Dark. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner tends to be a little less aggressive. Does definitely still have some good attack-focused builds up his sleeves, but maybe a bit more of a well-rounded player in a way. It is Classic. Oh, sorry, what was that about Dark being aggressive? What was that we were just talking about? It's like, look at all these ways Dark can be aggressive. Like, I don't know, proxying a hatch. Classic immediately drops the Forge. I like this response. I think this was planning to be a spine crawler rush, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you're Dark, do you cancel here? He doesn't yet know that it's a forge, but the Zealot's out now. You can see the first couple of cannons go down. Where do you put the cannon down is classic. Oh, he's not putting them down. Is he waiting for the cancel? It's not gonna happen. All right, down they go. First couple of lings on the way. Queen is on the way. I don't know what the plan is here for Dark. I feel like Dark might be in a tough spot. He's got ling speed coming out. He can't take this base because Classic dropped a pylon. I love that pylon. Second Zealot is going to hold back here. I'd love to see Classic put down a shield battery. Oh, he's going to cancel a pylon? Okay, Dark's taking the base. Or cancel a cannon, excuse me. Well, all right. I guess that works. This feels really weird. But I guess Dark was kind of pushed into a corner where he had to commit to this a little bit. But now it feels like maybe he hasn't committed enough. Is he going to kill this cannon? He's going to kill the cannon. Maverick hates this so much he left the game. He's like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. More cannons going down. I mean, Dark's just building lings right now. So this is a bit of a problem for Classic. But an Adept is out now that's going to help him a little bit. The cannons really need to finish up. I really wish Classic would put down a shield battery. I feel like that would help so much. He's just going to full wall. The Adept should be able to sneak out of there and keep doing damage from behind the wall. And Dark will get shoved away. Classic going to let these cannons finish this. Honestly, if he had let that second cannon finish, I think he just holds that initial attack and is fine. As it is, he's still fine. It's definitely not the end of the world. There's that shield battery we've been looking for. Oh, there's two of them even. Warp gate's almost done. There's another sentry on the way out. The creep tumors are really annoying to deal with, so we're definitely going to have to see some detection coming out from Classic here, but right now it's just the cannons. We'll limit where Dark can put these creep tumors, but that's about it. Dark, in the meantime, has droned up, so the worker count is pretty much even. Killed this pylon so he can take his third base, and I feel like Dark's actually in a pretty nice spot. That attack breaking through a little bit and forcing Classic to respond so heavily actually put Dark in a nice spot. It's not great, but it was certainly worse before that. It's a lot better than I had expected. And the creep on this side of the map is super duper annoying. I'm so happy to see this because one of the saddest things to happen was when shield batteries and the shield battery overcharge specifically was put into the game. It kind of just killed Bly's strat against Protoss, which was proxy hatching like pretty much every game. And I remember I used to cast a ton of Bly specifically versus Christianer, but against a lot of other like mid-level GM EU Protosses that like not top 10, but like top 30, 10 to 30 GM on EU Protosses. And Bly would just proxy hatch against them all the time. And it was so fun to watch. And I'm glad we're getting to see some more of that come into play here. Like Dark is bringing us a little bit of that. Because I miss it. I missed it. And one of my favorite things was always how much creep spread there was on the other side of the map by the time the Protoss tried to push out. This is kind of cute. Nice little force fields keeping those units alive. We'll grab a sentry though. Was it worth like 20 lings that were sent in there? It's questionable, but the follow-up for Dark is going to be Roaches, Ravagers, and a bunch more lings. We thought he was macroing. We was wrong. And Classic's going to get caught here. He's just going to try to take the trade with as many lings as he can. I feel like he needs to back up, but he doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know that there's Roaches out because the Observer's over here trying to help clear up creep tumors. He goes for the recall. He does get those units out of there, a couple of them at least. Are they in the main? Yeah, okay, so 3 zealots got out of there. That is not nothing. There's a disruptor out. Is Classic going to be able to spot the roaches and ravagers with this prism? I feel like he may not see them. He's so focused on pushing these lings away. He's not thinking about roaches and ravagers being on their way across the map. Dark's at 37 workers. He stopped droning. He is hardcore all in. And Classic's trying to take a 3rd base. Oh my god, he spots this. He gets 1 Ravager, but now no recall available. He's got to get the hell out of here. He's going to try to drop onto the high ground and just pick up these units as much as he can. Oh, but he's losing more. Sentry going down here. And Classic just caught completely off guard by this attack. Another Ravager goes down to another Disruptor Nova. I think this one's off cooldown. It can send out another Nova here. He's going to try to hit on the backside. Another Ravager goes down, but in the meantime, these lings are starting to bust through. Cannons and shield batteries are going down. I don't think there's any more Disruptor Novas right now. They get lifted up into the prism. But that's going to be it. GG gets called. Dark able to crack through with the lings, with the Ravagers. Classic just completely not ready for that. He was way too focused on killing creep, and he made the always scary and unsafe assumption that Dark was just macroing. With Dark, you can never assume that he's just macroing. It's what we were just talking about. Dark is, he's a player that absolutely off the back of that could have macroed and would have been ahead. That's the craziest thing about Dark, is a lot of times he does what is like objectively the worst thing for his position. Like in a way, if he had macroed, he would have just been ahead. And like Artosis says, went ahead, get more ahead. He could have just done that. But that does give Classic kind of an opportunity to find ways to sneak back into the game. Dark's got a killer instinct. He's got a killer instinct. He owns the game, I think, on PlayStation. And every now and then, mid-game, it just turns on. The PlayStation turns on and he realizes it's time to go. It's time to go. And at like 37 drones, he's just like, yep, all right, we're good. Roaches and Ravagers, we're going across the map. Heavy lings. And it's just crazy. Classic is just completely caught off guard by it. What a wild choice. Jean Sim, I do understand that. There's nothing that's gonna hit like StarCraft. I get that. The way I'm kind of viewing it is like, if you played, say, Super Smash Bros. Melee for a decade, which I know a lot of people who did, and then Super Smash Ultimate comes out. It's maybe not going to be as direct as that, but I think it will feel a lot like that, and that's kind of the way I'm viewing it. A lot of the same muscle memory will come into play. It's going to be a lot of the same kind of stuff. It just depends on if you're excited for a new game or if you just want to keep playing the old stuff. The beautiful thing is you can just keep playing StarCraft. I'm sure there will be plenty of people that do. But I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun to play a new game as well. And that's the thing, is like, some people will hard switch over to Stormgate. Some people will either barely play it or not play it. But I think a lot of people will just go back and forth. I mean, I think that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of people who do that. I might do that. I love StarCraft. Probably not, because I don't even play StarCraft now. But you never know. Melee is still the goated game. See, that is a correct opinion. But what I'm saying is, if you're a Melee player, Ultimate's still fun to play. And because it's a lot easier to play like online competitive stuff, a lot of people play Ultimate more casually and play Melee more seriously. So maybe we'll see something like that in Stormgate, where it'll be a much more popular casual game, but the real gamers will still play StarCraft. Could be. We kind of see that with Brood War and StarCraft too, right? We're like, if you're a hardcore gamer, you play Brood War. And if you're a little more casual, like there's hardcore gamers in StarCraft 2, but if you're a casual gamer, you're gonna play StarCraft 2 of the two of them. And I think Stormgate will have a lot of that as well. Yeah, Erebus, I think a lot of people will. I think a lot of people will. I will just have to see. I mean, the thing is, a lot of it's just super unknown. But to me, the unknown is really exciting in this case because we haven't had anything super duper exciting in StarCraft like that for a long time. The last time I really felt this excited about something new in StarCraft was like Legacy of the Void coming out, right? Like the expansion. That was 8 years ago. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for new stuff. I'm ready for something spicy. I love this game. I literally, I don't have to be here. I am here because I want to be here. And I didn't have to help make this tournament. I don't have to stream this. I don't have to cast this. None of this is like a have to. There are a billion other things I could be doing in my life right now. And I'm choosing to do this because of how much I love this game. And I'm hoping to transfer a lot of that love over to Stormgate. And I think the desire to try something new and to keep that love going and that passion going in that new game is going to be directly responsible, more so than anything else, for that happening. I think if I had felt this way about Age of Empires 4, I would have hard switched to that, like a lot of StarCraft people did. Right? The Muslims still hard switched to that. So did Beastie, and a number of players too, Marine Lord. But to be honest, I think that game's just a worse game than StarCraft. We have a chance with Stormgate to have finally an RTS that's actually better on paper than StarCraft. Will it be? I don't know. But it has a chance to be. And I think the way, from what I've heard people say who have played it, and it's only a couple people who've played it, we'll honestly find out more information in the next couple of months as the closed alpha starts up. But from everything I've heard so far, they have a really good baseline. The game feels good to play. Even in its super, super alpha stages, it feels good to play. And I'll be honest, that matters way more than anything else. To me, anyways. When it comes to playing a game. Does it feel good? Play the hell out of it. That's honestly the biggest complaint I had of Age of Empires. I played it and my first thought was, oh, this doesn't feel good to play. Classic, you rude. Rude boy. You're a rude boy. All right, I should talk about this game that I'm professing my love for so much. Not that it's anything super exciting other than Classic being an absolute rude boy and dropping that pylon at the third base. Dark is on match point here. That's kind of worth noting. Dark has a little bit maybe more freedom in what he can do. I don't think that ever really weighs on Dark's mind, though. I feel like Dark's the kind of person who he just does stuff. I think Dark's the ultimate star sense person, the ultimate like game sense kind of player, where he kind of flies by the seat of his pants. A lot of times what he does isn't like a build order. We have a lot of build orders in this game that are down to the microsecond, you know? I don't feel like Dark does that. That doesn't feel like the way Dark plays to me. I think he's more of a reactive player, but even more so than just reactive, it's just like, this feels right. This feels like the thing to do. Dropping the Roach Horn in the back of his mineral line feels like the right thing to do. And the way it goes for Dark a lot of times is the Oracle didn't go back there, the Oracle didn't scout it, and now the Oracle's really hurt and probably won't be around for a minute. And there's not a second Oracle. Oh, there is a second Oracle. Where is it? There it is. Oh, I was really scared for a second that Classic hadn't made one. So Classic might be able to get this scout off on the Roach Warren. Is Dark going to use the Roach Warren? I don't know. Classic's taking a third base. He's going for a Glaives build. It's going to be like a 4-gate Glaives. But with Roaches already on the way out, a bunch of Lings here going to be sent across the map. These Adepts get the scout on the group of Lings. That's not really much of a scout. It's the Roaches they need to spot. And the Oracles are back at home? Where even are the Oracles? What are these Oracles doing, man? Okay, one of them died. Does get the scout on the Roaches, though. As long as Classic was paying attention, he's going to notice that. He starts up a couple of shield batteries back at home. So he is getting ready for this. One in the natural as well. He's got a lot of Adepts out. Glaives is only halfway done, though. He's got to get that going. He's chrono boosting it. It's a quick upgrade, but it's not here yet. Oracle trying to work on the Ravager Cocoon. It does stop that Ravager from building. The Adepts are really threatening this Shade here. They're going to finish it. Oh, I don't know if I like that Shade. I don't know if I like that right into the clutches of the Roaches. But the Oracle overhead doing a good bit of damage. More Lings showing up. Glaives is about to finish. There's a lot of Adepts. Dark deciding to pull back. He is droning behind this. But Classic's actually ahead in workers. And now he's chasing with the Adepts. Was this a mistake from Dark? Or was that a mistake from Classic? He gets completely surrounded. He recalls immediately, but he's going to lose so many Adepts before that happens. Oh, it's only 6. It's only 6 Adepts that died. A lot of them staying alive just barely in that recall, but Classic realized that Dark is who Dark is, and he had a lot more units behind that. It feels like Dark's just going to come across and attack now, and I think that's what Classic is thinking. But Dark this time actually is droning and macroing out of it. He's got the lair finishing up. He's gone up to 56 workers, but there's no 4th base. The Oracle's about to scout that, and I feel like Dark is just droning before he goes for another attack. I don't know, though. I don't know. It's Dark. It's so hard to call what he's doing. He's going to drop the Hydra Den. Where is he going with this? Is this Hydra Den just to build like 3 Hydras to deal with the Oracle? Ravagers and Adepts fighting a little bit against each other. A couple of Adepts sneak over into this base where the Lings will get on top of them. 4 drones going down, though. Nice little bits of damage here. More gateways going down as Blink is on the way for Classic. Just getting into heavy gateway style. Second Robo on the way, and there's a Robo Bay. I like when things rhyme by accident. It's always fun. Dark is just going into Hydras. He's straight up going into Hydras. I mean, all right, so I think he's just kind of calling Classic's follow-up here of Stalkers. Has Classic gotten a scout on the Hydra Den? I guess is my next question. He has not. It's in a cheeky little spot. Gonna lose all his Adepts out here. Stalkers are not good against Hydras. And Dark, I think, is just going to push across the map pretty soon. He's got a lot of Hydras coming out. He's losing a few drones, but I feel like that's almost the perfect opportunity to push across after you kill all these Adepts. Colossi coming out off the back of this for Classic. I think that's absolutely the right choice. It's what saved him in Game 2. If he can get these 2 Colossi out, I think it's going to be a hard time for Dark. He's so Hydra heavy right now. But Dark, he's not rushing across the map. And I think this is the right call with those Colossi about to pop. He's got the Lurker Den and the Infestation Pit off the back of this. The Ling Ravager Hydra can hold on against any annoying Stalker pressure while the Lurkers come out. But Classic, in the meantime, is going to get up into that 4 Colossi Thermal Lance army that he had in Game 2 that was so powerful. And Hydras are not good at dealing with that. So those Lurkers need to be coming out most ASAPly. And even Lurkers, honestly, can be a bit of a struggle if you're not on the best economy, and Dark's economy has not been the best. Classic has had a better economy this game. The trade's been very, very close. I like this right now for Classic. Dark, he can't push across the map. He's got to figure something else out, I feel like. We're leaning into what I was talking about, though, where Dark can be heavily aggressive and then directly go into teching into late game. Hive is on the way. Lurkers are coming out. We're going to see those Lurker upgrades once Hive is done. We're also going to see Vipers once Hive is done. And Hydra Lurker Viper is one of the strongest compositions in the game. Dark knows this. Classic knows this. And Classic is actually, it looks like he's trying to put some pressure on right now. He's got the other two Colossi walking across. He's going to drop in the main just a couple of Adepts to try to be annoying, force some of Dark's focus while he moves across the left side. There are a couple of Lurkers here, but the Stalker's going to blink on top of them and target all three of them down. There's a couple more Lurkers around, but they're not here right now. The other Colossi going to join up with this army. I don't think there's a Prism here. Not really a good reinforcement spot for Classic. But the Adepts are in the fourth as well. The Prism in the main base is getting targeted down by the Queens, but at least all of these Adepts are going to get warped in. So the drones are in some trouble. The Queens are actually in a little bit of trouble here. Some Hydras and Roaches coming up, but the attack over at the base here is continuing on. The Lurkers have been tagged, but the Spore Crawlers are going to go down. Adepts continuing to get some damage done, but honestly, not a lot of drones going down. Here's a heavy Adept commitment, as well as the Warp Prism commitment. Classic, in the meantime, though, has a fourth base, so it's 4 base to 4. Dark is up a few workers, but it's pretty even economy. Dark's going to push across, though. He's got those Lurkers. He's got to bring the Lurkers, though, if he wants to push. I feel like you can't push without the Lurkers, but the Lurkers don't have all their upgrades yet. In fact, they don't have either of them, so they're only 8 range right now to the Colossi is 9. And they can't speedy unburrow just yet, which is a crucial upgrade if you're going for an attack. Oh, it's an excellent observer placement right now. Stalker's going to blink forward. They're going to target down the Lurker. Disruptor Nova is getting sent out. Colossi doing a great job just chipping away from the backside. Well, looks like the Observer went down. Classic going to back up, but Classic's ahead 40 supply right now. It's all an army, actually. I was going to say mostly. It's all an army, all 30 of it, because I can do math. And Classic's army is pretty nice. But you know what? It's getting even nicer. Behind this double Stargate Fleet Beacon, drops down a third one. He's getting Tempest out, and he is just... It feels like he's so far ahead of Dark in terms of the tech. Dark has that Hive, he's got these Lurkers, but he doesn't have the Vipers out yet. He doesn't have a Spire out. He's trying to get these Spore Crawlers down, but I know 5 Spores have already died this game. And Dark's economy, you'd usually, as the Zerg, like to have a much bigger economy than the Protoss at this point. It's even, if not worse, than Classic's. Classic's been mining more this whole game. And now he's going to take the gold base. He's going to use that as an offensive location with shield batteries, maybe even cannons here. And he's going to start pushing with the Tempests. And again, Dark just has no response to this. Hydras do not deal with Tempests. They can deal with a lot of things. Tempest is not one of them. You need to get, yes, here we go, Vipers out. You absolutely need the Vipers out. Ideally, Corruptors. But Vipers are a start. If you have Spore Crawlers, if you have Hydras, Vipers can be good enough. Classic might want to get into some High Templar, actually, to counter those Vipers. And also Storm. But right now, he's just focused on those rubber units, keeping those Disruptors out. Ooh, Spore Crawler's starting to hit the Tempest. That's not what you're looking for. Knight is going down here for Dark. And he's attacking over on this side as well. Super Shield Battery turns on, but it's going to get killed. Classic is slow sieging, and Dark is just full-on counterattacking. He's got the Nidus up over here. There's nothing in it, though. Oh, there's the recall from Classic. He is going to jump right on top of this army. Bile's going down, though, hitting a lot of these units with the splash damage. Same with the Lurkers. The wall has been taken down. There's Hydras in the natural. There's an infestation here. Classic will be able to clean this up, but this pulls a lot of pressure off of Dark. They got a lot of pressure off of Dark. And now Dark can he can expand. He's got this base on this side. It's dangerous over here. This base is actually really important for Dark. He's got 2 of his most important tech structures here. The Nidus still exists, and now we've got some units popping out of it. I don't think there's detection for these Zealots to try to clean up the Lurkers, so the Zealots will all go down. The observers are finally here, though, so down goes that lurker. Dark did lose kind of a lot with this, but he's continuing to just be annoying with just a handful of units. These robos are in trouble now. Classic's army supply is still pretty high, but he's lost 44 probes. A few units from the main going to try to come down here, but they still can't kill the lurker because they don't have detection, because the observers, I think there's one observer? There's only one observer right now. It's with the army. So the detection here for Classic is abysmal, and he's losing his robos. He needs to rebuild robos. He finally drops the Templar Archives. There are Vipers out, but I haven't really seen them used. I don't think these Vipers have actually done anything just yet, but they might be able to come into play now. This Classic is, again, slow sieging this base, trying to push the Spore Crawlers back slowly but surely, but he's having such a tough time defending in the meantime. He's going to lose a Nexus to, like, one Lurker. You know how long it takes a Lurker to kill a Nexus? That Lurker was doing its damnedest. Oh, some Void Rays coming out as well. Just going to try to hold on the high ground here. Classic is still doing a good job pushing over on this side, but another Lurker causing so much of an issue. Oh, the detection here is such a problem. Flux Veins was on the way. I don't know if he canceled it. No, he finished it. Void Ray speed. So more Void Rays coming out for Classic, but it's so heavy on the Hydra production for Dark. Hydra's counter Void Rays. I'm getting really... Oh my god, the Observer died. That was it. That was the only one. There's just the Oracle for detection now. I don't think there's another Robo. Both the Robos died in the natural. The whole natural is gone. Classic needs to drop double Robo again and start pumping out more observers, get more detection. Oh, this is such a problem. Dark gonna force a recall into the main base. I think Dark needs to leave. He's got to get out of here. Night Swarm gonna buy him some time to get these Hydras away. But he forces the recall again, and that's gonna allow him to push this base, which is just a few shield batteries and one single solitary cannon right now. There are a few Tempests, but they're getting yoinked. Finally, we see those Vipers come into play, and Dark went from, it felt like, dead to suddenly in a game-winning position here as he's on 5 bases, very comfortable on 80 drones. He's got the army, is losing some stuff here, but he's killing some stuff too. He's got the Hydra Lurker Viper. Classic's economy is not that great. His army is decent, but it's not where he'd like it to be right now, and he doesn't really have the ability to remake it, and Dark is just picking him apart with these Hydra run-bys, with Lurker run-bys. There's just nothing Classic can do. He's losing all of his probes at the 5th. The 3rd base is getting killed. Classic's losing everything. He's got nothing back at home. He just has his main army. And Dark, if there's one thing Dark is very good at, it's turtling. It's being cost efficient, and he's just going to try to hold back here. There's not a lot of detection for Classic. He hasn't even tagged all of the Lurkers, so these Lurkers getting some free damage. And yeah, Classic might be able to push through this, but there's so much more army for Dark behind this. And Classic's trying to push through Spore Crawlers. It's just not enough. GG. Dark takes the 3-1, coming back in that game from what felt like an unwinnable position. He had committed so hard to an attack that Classic just kind of bopped with those Adepts. He just pushed it back. And then Dark's follow-up was like, okay, let's tech the late game. And I talked about it earlier, man. It's wild that he can just do that. He can just flip the switch, and before you even realize it, he's got Lurkers on the way. Suddenly you've got to build Tempest. Suddenly you're in a weird spot. He's counterattacking with Hydras. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Dark takes the 3-1, beats Classic in the grand finals to win his first KSL. He's been to, this is his 5th finals, but finally Dark takes the win. We're happy to crown him champion.